Hey guys, it's Katie at scrappingkatie.ctmh.com, and I am doing something fun for the rest of the month. I am joining Miranda and Lisa for the 12 days of Christmas. And today is day one with Here Comes Santa Claus as the topic. So off camera, I've already cut several pieces of cardstock on my Cricut using the Comfort and Joy Mini Cricut Digital Collection from Close to My Heart. So I have an overlay of trees as well as this photo of my daughter and Santa last year, hence the challenge, Here Comes Santa Claus. I've also cut my titles as well as some little stars and then journaling strips and then, of course, the year. So let's take a look at how fast and quick this layout comes together. So for the base, I am using a pattern paper, and right now I'm just going to trim down my photo 1/4 of an inch on the 4-inch side and the 6-inch side because I want it to fit on that French vanilla mat, which actually is 4x6. And then that's going to get matted onto a piece of pattern paper from the Comfort and Joy line, just so a little bit of that dark green shows behind the photo. And then I am going to just ink distress the edges of that photo and that little tab. And right now I'm just going to go ahead and play with the journaling strips as well as my title to try to see where I want this to go. Now, on this Christmas, I actually cut it 3 times so I could stack the letters, not only to add some dimension, but also just kind of add some strength. Those are kind of tiny, delicate letters. And I have just glued those together with liquid glass. Any liquid adhesive would work as long as it's quick drying, but not so quick so you're allowed to kind of move it around to make sure they're all lined up. Now, one thing I love to do with my letters is just take a marker. This is a very old marker, and I just like to go around the edges of it. I don't really like to do alcohol markers. I find that it bleeds just a little bit too much, so these old Tombow markers work. And I've already done all the other letters, and I'm just finishing up the A and the S for you. And I think it just makes such a difference to make that title pop. Now, as far as my overlay goes, I am going to use tape adhesive. I just feel like liquid adhesive would add too many bubbles to it. And the spaces behind those trees are large enough for my ATG 1/4 of an inch tape to go behind. So I'm just going to get that glued down, and then I am going to adhere the stars. Now I am using a Tombow Mono adhesive for those. That way that it doesn't dry too quick, and I can add multiple dots of glue and then come back and add the stars. So I'm just finishing that up, and then I will go ahead and put that little tab together. I think I'm going to put the date on that tab, and it's going to go somewhere around my photo. So I wanted to pull out a couple of stamp sets, and we have the Jubilee Crew and then the Jingle Joy scrapbooking stamp set. Now from the Jingle Joy, there are a couple of ornaments that I thought would look cute around the Santa. So I'm just inking those up and stamping those off on some thin cut pieces that I already die cutted off camera. And so I just love those 2 little ornaments. And then I'm looking at the rest of the stamp sets. Now, for that Jubilee Crew, there is a sentiment that says, Dear Santa. So I'm going to pull out some New England Ivy ink and stamp that on a little tag that will kind of be a pull-out journal tag from behind my photo. So now I've got a cluster around my photo. I'm liking that. So now I'm going to work on my title. So the 2019 is pretty easy. I'm just using liquid adhesive, just kind of eyeballing that they are straight along the bottom. Now, I don't know if you can tell right now, but that 2019 is actually cut out of black glitter paper. So you can definitely tell at the end of this video in the still shots. So for the title Christmas, I definitely want those lined up. So I've pulled out my T-ruler and then my Versamat, and that way it makes it really easy for that T-ruler to stay straight. And you see that I've already kind of glued the majority of these letters down, and those are done. My title's done, so now I'm going to work on this photo. Now, in order for that tag pull out to work, I'm going to add some 3D foam tape sheets to the back of my photo, but I don't want it added to the top. Now I am going to just kind of add some strips on the side just to kind of make it even. And then I'm going to start playing with the journaling strips and see where I want those. I like them right there, and I love that there's 3 of them. Even though I cut 4, I'm an odd person. I love 3s and 5s, as most scrapbookers do. So I love that 3 just fit perfectly in between the Christmas title and then the top of those trees. I'm going to go ahead and adhere down this photo and then this little tag that my date's going to go on. And then I can start playing with that journal tag. So I definitely know that I want some more little clusters of embellishments. Instead of stamping them, I tried to use that cute little reindeer, but instead of stamping them, I'm pulling out the sticker sheet from the Jingle Joy. Now you can see that this is greens and pinks and blacks, and even though up until this point I didn't have any pink on my layout, I love that it just kind of brings that unexpected twist to the layout. So I'm just kind of playing with the ho, ho, ho. I do put all my stickers on wax paper, and it makes it really easy for me to play with the placement before I actually commit to where it's going. So for the tag, I just punch a tiny little hole in the top, and then I'm using some baker's twine from my stash and just threading that through the top of that tag. And then that will let people know that they can pull on that to reveal just a little bit of journaling. A whole lot of journaling is not going to fit on there, but I thought it would be perfect to even maybe have my daughter add just a few things that she wants to add to it. So I've got those little sentiment. There's like a little, it's perfect for a date. And then that sentiment says, I've been good, which is perfect for the Santa photo. I've got that taped down to the photo. And then I am going to work on the ornaments. Now I've just poked a hole with my paper piercer in the top of the ornament. And I have some pink thread to kind of bring that color pink over to the right side of the layout. I'm just going to adhere this larger ornament down, and then I'm going to work on the smaller one. Same thing, I'm just using a paper piercer to poke a hole, and then I'm just going to thread through it. And I'm using a 3D foam circle for that smaller ornament. Still trying to make that deer fit in. He is adorable. So then I'm just going to use washi tape to make sure that that pink thread goes all the way to the top and wraps around, and then just cut off the excess. And I'm pretty happy with that. Now I do want a little bit more bling, so I pulled out my holiday sequins, and I am just going to be using the green sequins this time. So I'm just pulling out various sizes, and then I'm going to get my glue dots out and start adhering these sequins to the layout. And I love that it just kind of adds a little, all that whiteness behind the tree. Even though I love some white space, it was just a little bit too much for me. So I like how the sequins just kind of broke that up. Now here's where I'm just adding just a few journal lines on that Dear Santa tag. And then that tucks in behind. And then of course I have to add some little doodle dots again to break up all of that white space. So for a last bit effort to add some shimmer, I added some lemonade shimmer brush to the top of those stars. You can see that sparkle there. And here is the layout finished. Again, I will leave links down below as I am joining the Scrappy Inspiration YouTube and Instagram hop. So you'll want to check out all the other people who have posted for day 1 of the 12 days of Christmas.